Can you ski in a motorhome? I don't literally mean in a motorhome, but with a motorhome. Well, we've been doing so for nearly 20 years, with kids, with dogs, with a whole load of trouble. And today, we're going to tell you everything we wish we would have learned before we actually went.
And we learnt an awful lot of things the hard way, so we're hoping to make it a bit easier for you.
Therefore, whether you're planning your first motorhome trip or your 20th, hopefully you might be able to get something from this video. Furthermore, in just a few days, we're actually going back. Let's start with equipment.
If you take nothing else away from this video, take snow chains and all the fun of fitting them.
Yeah, take snow chains, but just make sure you try them before you go. I don't mean drive with them, but try and put them on, because if you have to put them on at the side of the road in a snowstorm, it ain't pretty.
And if you've never done it before, it can be disastrous.
Your onboard water tanks might freeze, depending on what van you've had. We've skied with really cheap vans years and years and years ago.
Yeah.
And they did freeze.
They froze up solid.
So how did we shower?
We showered into a blue IKEA bag so that we could then tip the water out. And we just boiled the kettle for warm water and cooking. And we always make sure that we've got water containers with us inside the van.
So you need to just remember, but if it happens, it happens. You won't die. Well, at least I don't think you will.
No, and even if your water doesn't freeze, your fresh water might be okay, but your drains might freeze, hence the IKEA bag.
Front blind insulation.
Yeah, definitely worth it. You lose a lot of heat out the front of your van, particularly depending on the model.
Again, in our van, we have a thermal blind at the front. From the inside, we don't need, or we've never felt the need to have outside screens. But if you look at these photos of the vans that we've had previously, we've covered them from head to toe in these insulated screens, and they work magnificently. So don't take it to chance. It could be really cold. We've had some times where we've been down literally to -20 at over 2,000 meters. And that's tough going with kids.
Yeah. We've also made full use of curtains in the cab area. Some of them are curtains that have come with the van. Some of them have been makeshift curtains that were just hung from the overhead bed, just to keep us that little bit more protected from the cold in the cab area.
And if you're in a van conversion, doing something around the doors, around the footwells of the doors, is also a really useful tip, because that's where you start to pick the cold up from. One of the greatest things about being out to go skiing in your camper is being able to take your own ski gear, your own boots that fit you like a glove, your own skis that you can do as you please with, your own snowboards, whatever it is you want to take. On this trip, I'm taking my e-mountain bike, my skis, and my ski boots, and a set of blades for a bit of fun.
You are indeed. Well, I hope it's fun.
And trust me, that means no queuing for ski rental at 8 o'clock every morning.
The next big question is where to go skiing. We've skied in Italy, France, Austria, even Germany. So there's lots of places to choose from.
Even Scotland.
Even Scotland, yeah.
Indeed we have. And choosing somewhere to go is where it starts to get a little bit tricky. How do you want to go? This is going to be dependent on whether you're taking kids with you, whether you've got big dogs, little dogs, or whether you want to drive far, how confident you are of driving. Do you like mountain driving? Have you experienced mountain driving before? How high do you want to go?
Yeah.
All things to take into consideration. But the biggest question,
do you want an air or a campsite?
Absolutely. Do you want to be on an air or a campsite? This is our advice from our experience.
When we had young children that came with us and we had to go on school holidays.
Yeah, it was always a test to find out whether we were going to get on an air. The reason we chose airs was because they were cheaper. We didn't have a great deal of cash.
No.
So we just threw everything in we could and tried to find an air, which added a little bit more excitement than sometimes you need.
A little bit more stress sometimes than you need as well.
Yeah, because basically you're going somewhere, you don't know whether there's going to be space, but we always managed to find somewhere.
We did, yeah.
It's going to depend mostly on your own requirements and how stress-free you like it and how much money you've got.
Yeah, and if you want to be assured of a place to stay, a campsite is the way to go. And maybe if it's your first time or you're going on school holidays, I would probably recommend a campsite, because then you know you've got somewhere and you know you've got the facilities there, and it takes a little bit of the stress out of going.
If you want our favourite resort, we love Livigno. Camp in Piedmont, Livigno, beautiful place to go. Long drive.
Italian
Alps. Cheap as chips when you're there. But it is a really nice place to go with a really, really friendly campsite, and lots of campsites that are there. We shan't be going there this year because it's the Winter Olympics. So unfortunately, it's going to be a little bit too busy for us. Hence why we've chosen somewhere else. Route planning. Nikki Dav does all that for me, so you could talk about that.
Well, I try to do route planning. This year, because we're going to France, there's a lot more question over whether we use toll or non-toll. Roads are a lot quicker, will get us to our destination quicker, but obviously will cost us more. They are also better for going through the more mountainous areas, depending on what the weather forecasts are. So it's not just looking at the routes, it's also looking at the weather for where you're going to be as well. And you really want to try and avoid arriving in resort on a Saturday when the changeover day is going on, because there'll be a lot of traffic going up and down the mountain. So if you can arrive outside of a Saturday, that's better.
And never try and arrive in a resort in the dark. And lastly, tyres. Good tyres must have a snowflake on in most regions that you go skiing in, without a doubt.
They're a legal requirement.
When we used to go, they weren't. It was just a set of chains. But the laws are changing all the time. So keep an eye on what those laws are for the country that you're going to, and make sure that you stay on the right side of the law.
Don't forget about après-ski motorhome style. Hot chocolate, heating.
Yeah.
It's great.
It's really good if you go with friends. I mean, we've spent a lot of these years going with friends, and sometimes we've taken as many as 10 campers with us and led like a motorhome tour for these guys. And when we've got somewhere, we've had a blast. It's been amazing. So if you can go with friends, it does reduce some stress. But if you're going with friends to an air, that could end in tears.
Yeah. If you've got 4 vans and there's only 3 spaces, you might have a problem.
So here's a little bit more detail about where to stay. Airs at the bottom of slopes, amazing. If you can find one and you can get on, you can really have a ski in, ski out moment. It's like your own chalet, but you cost you a fortune. You just strap your boots on, strap your skis on, away you go. End of the day, come down the mountain, look at your motorhome down at the bottom there, and if you're a confident skier, down you go, back to your van.
Yeah. Some airs and campsites are on a ski bus route. The ski buses are generally regular. Some of them are free, depending what resort you're in. So that can be an option as well, if you're happy with getting a bus into the resort or to the bottom of the slopes.
And you do find that if you're out of resort a little bit and do use a ski bus, you're generally going to pay a lot less for your campsite than what you would if you've got one that's actually right in the town. Costs of airs vary.
Yeah, varies enormously.
Yeah, varies. Some airs have electricity, some airs don't. Some airs have everything you need. Some airs are just somewhere to park.
Most airs will have somewhere to empty your waste. Sometimes the water is frozen though, so just be prepared that you may not be able to fill up when you arrive at an air.
So here's some final tips from us then.
Yeah. If you can stay flexible with your choice of resorts, or possibly even your dates with a little bit, you can keep an eye on the weather and you can choose accordingly.
Yeah, so you don't have to commit yourself to one resort if you're going in a motorhome. We've been away and done 2, 3, even 4 resorts in one journey.
Yeah.
That's always useful. That's the beauty of having a motorhome to go skiing with, especially if you're like us now with sadly grown-up kids who don't come anymore, and sadly no dogs to come with us.
Yeah.
So we don't need to worry too much about where we go. We can just hit Calais, look at the weather and find out where we're going.
Yeah.
And most importantly, enjoy it. Skiing in a motorhome, it can be trying, it can be testing, but it can be absolute magic.
Yeah.
I don't think, genuinely speaking, guys, I genuinely don't believe that we have ever come back from a skiing holiday and gone, that was terrible.
No. We always make sure that we fill up with LPG before we go up the mountain. We roughly calculate how much gas we think we'll need, and we use it as conservatively as possible whilst we're in resort, on the understanding that if we run out of gas, we'll have to come back down from the mountain. But when you come back down from the mountain, you have still got some gas on board. You can whack that heating right up, and it's bliss.
Yeah, we've been in positions where we've run out of gas or the batteries have died, and you know, all of those things over the years in the different vans we've had. But again, we've never ever come back and gone, oh my God, that was terrible. All we've ever done is learn for the next time. And you know your van, you will know what your van is capable of. If you don't, enjoy learning about it, because that's the way to do it. Just enjoy learning.
But maybe don't enjoy learning when you're halfway up a mountain.
Here's just a few additional things that we take to ensure we have a great time. Rock salt to make sure that we just melt any snow around the step. A shovel to make sure that we can clear any snow at any point. And of course, a good brush to make sure that we can get the snow off the roof prior to leaving resort, and making sure that we don't put ice over the cars behind us. If you found this video helpful, give it a like and subscribe if you want to follow our adventures. If you don't, just thanks for watching.
Yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you got something from this.
And we've had all this experience over all these years, and we're still learning.
And still arguing.
Mostly about gloves and lost gloves and directions.
Yes, directions, definitely.
So don't be put off. Come out, enjoy yourself, give it a try. If you don't like it, it's just a lesson in life. Another lesson learned in the great journey of life.